In the tranquil valleys of Tibet, amidst the icy winds, the bells of a monastery were ringing. In the courtyard of Tashi Lumpo Monastery sat an aged saint. Deep in meditation, his name was Gendun Gyatso, the first Dalai Lama. His life was dedicated to Tibetan Buddhism, and he had founded the Tashi Lumpo Monastery. In his final days, he told his disciples,
"I will return in a new form in the Ten region of central Tibet, where my voice will echo again in a place like Tanage, near mountains and a lake."
This was no ordinary promise. It was a prophecy of reincarnation, a profound and mystical secret of the Buddhist tradition. After Gendun Gyatso's Mahaparinirvana passing away in 1474, monasteries across Tibet engaged in intense meditations, awaiting signs and dreams. In what form would that sacred spirit now be reborn? A senior monk at Tashi Lumpo Monastery had a dream during meditation, a serene lake, a tall mountain nearby, and a boy playing there, whose eyes held a depth as if he had seen much before. This dream resonated with the geography around Tanag Sekme, the birthplace of Gendun Gyatso, and was considered an important sign. 1475. Tanag Sekme, a small village near Shigatse in the Tsang region of Tibet. Surrounded by high mountains and adorned with cedar trees, this village appeared serene, but an extraordinary event was about to unfold here. In an ordinary farmer's family, a boy was born. He was named Sangye Fel. Even in his childhood, his face was calm, his eyes deep, and his mind steady. It was as if he was not just a soul, but a sage brimming with experience. His father was Kunga Gyatso, a farmer, but also a renowned tantric practitioner and devotee of the Nyingmapa sect. His mother was Machik Kunga Pemo, a simple woman, but with sharp intuition, in whose dreams divine figures often appeared. At the time of Gendun Gyatso's birth, some unusual signs were observed. His father had a dream in which a person dressed in white asked him to name his son Gendun Gyatso, and also stated that his son would be able to recall his previous lives. However, his parents named him Sangye Fel. When Sangye Fel was learning to speak, he told his parents that his name was Pema Dorje, which was the birth name of the first Dalai Lama, Gendun Gyatso. He also expressed a desire to live in Tashi Lumpo Monastery, which the first Dalai Lama had founded. It is said that when he was 4 years old, he told his parents that he wanted to live with his monks at Tashi Lumpo Monastery. When the monks from Tashi Lumpo Monastery, who were searching for the reincarnation of the first Dalai Lama, arrived in the village, an old Lama's eyes filled with tears upon seeing Sangye Fel. "Our revered Guru, you have made us wait for so long." In 1486, at the age of 10, he took his initial monastic vows and was given the name Gendun Gyatso. In 1487, at the age of 11, he was officially recognized as the reincarnation of the first Dalai Lama, Gendun Gyatso, and was enthroned at Tashi Lumpo Monastery. In Tibetan tradition, the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama isn't just a feeling. It's a process of deep searching, testing, and confirmation. When the monks saw something extraordinary in Sangye Fel, they faced many questions. Was this truly the same soul? Would he be the second Dalai Lama? The monks brought with them several items associated with the first Dalai Lama, Gendun Gyatso, a mala, prayer beads, a writing pen, a thangka painting, a scroll painting of Buddhist art, and several ordinary items for testing. When Sangye Fel was asked, "Which of these things are yours?" he immediately picked up the mala and said, "This is mine. I chanted with it." Then he bowed to the thangka and said, "The figure in this painting used to appear in my dreams." Seeing this, all the lamas fell silent. This was a clear indication that he recognized objects from his previous life, a crucial part of the reincarnation identification process. Finally, the elders of Tashi Lumpo Monastery formally declared, "Sangye Fel is indeed the reincarnation of Gendun Gyatso. He will be the second Dalai Lama." In 1487, when he was 11 years old, not 12, he was brought to Tashi Lumpo Monastery and formally enthroned, coronated. Here, he was given a new name, Gendun Gyatso, Gendun, whose qualities are like the ocean. Celebrations erupted across Tibet. Lamps were lit in monasteries, mantras were chanted, and monks respectfully bowed to him. This was a historic moment that further strengthened the continuity of the Dalai Lama institution. Gendun Gyatso's intelligence was remarkable from childhood. He began reading profound Buddhist texts at a young age. He was so skilled in debate that older lamas hesitated to engage in discussions with him. He would go so deep into meditation that hours would pass, and he would lose all sense of time. One of his principal teachers, Panchen Lungrik Gyatso, recognized his extraordinary abilities. Gendun Gyatso possessed a rare photographic memory. Once he repeated a 100-line verse taught by his guru after hearing it only once. This ability became the foundation for his deep study and scholarship in the future. As Gendun Gyatso's fame spread throughout Tibet, the boundaries between religion and political power began to blur. While he received affection from the common people and monks, his popularity started to trouble some political forces and traditional tantric sects. Gendun Gyatso belonged to the Gelug school, which was emerging in Tibet at the time. There was religious and political rivalry between him and the Gelugpas, with some older, established sects, especially the Karma Kagyu school. This rivalry primarily stemmed from the struggle for religious authority and influence. They accused Gendun Gyatso of emphasizing only sutra studies and public teachings, not giving enough importance to certain older tantric rituals, especially those of the Nyingmapa school, leading people towards an administrative religion. This was due to the Gelugpa's growing organizational strength and the expansion of their monasteries. In some places, the opposition became so intense that he was prevented from giving sermons, but he would smile and say, "Truth does not fear criticism, love does not flee from fear." Many local rulers and chieftains also began to agree with Gendun Gyatso's views. He traveled extensively during his lifetime, which gave him the opportunity to connect with leaders from various regions of Tibet, leaders of the Tsang region, where Gelugpa influence was growing, prominent figures from Loka or the Yarlung Valley, several merchant families of Lhasa. Kings began to accord him the respect of a royal guru. He mediated many disputes based on religious principles, but never stepped outside the bounds of religious decorum. He considered religion a means to maintain peace and order in society. Gendun Gyatso understood that religion could not be confined solely to monasteries. He strengthened the monastic education system and aided in the establishment of new monasteries, such as Chokogyal Monastery. He suggested building a society where there was harmony between religion and governance, laying the foundation for the political leadership of future Dalai Lamas. Education and compassion were universally spread. All individuals, whether male or female, had an equal right to spiritual development. With this policy, he laid the foundation for a new Buddhist consciousness in Tibet, where religion became not just meditation, but also a means of public service and social order. Once a king asked, "What is a Dharma king?" Gendun Gyatso replied, "He who is governed by compassion is the true Dharma king, whether on a throne or in a cave. The true purpose of governance is to alleviate the suffering of beings." It is said that once, when there was a conspiracy to poison him, he drank the very water without fear, and through the power of his prayers, the poison transformed into blue lotus, Utpala, water. This blue lotus miracle is still famous in Tibetan folklore today, and is considered a symbol of his spiritual power. Years passed, and Gendun Gyatso became a revered sage whose name was spoken not just with respect, but as a guiding light. However, like every life, this sacred soul's journey was also nearing its end. Gendun Gyatso spent his final years at Chokogyal Monastery in the Tsang region. He played a significant role in establishing this monastery, which was surrounded by high mountains, serene lakes, and calm breezes, a place where even nature seemed to practice silent meditation. There, he took a vow of silence, spent time in deep meditation, taught young monks, deepened his experiences and philosophy. This period marked his spiritual peak, a time when he lived more on the level of the soul than the body. One day, deep in meditation, he told his closest disciples, "My body is now tired, but the soul must find a new path. My next birth will be in the Altai region, near northeastern Tibet, where a child will ride a white horse near a blue lake, and his mother will call him Sound of the Ocean, or Sonam Gyatso. This prophecy later came true in the form of the third Dalai Lama, Sonam Gyatso, who was indeed born in the Mongolian Altai region. The name Sonam Gyatso means Ocean of Merit. In 1542, amidst the hills of Chokorgyal Monastery, Gendun Gyatso took his last breath in a state of meditation. According to Tibetan tradition, at that very moment, the monastery bells began to ring on their own, signaling spiritual energy. Lotuses bloomed in the nearby lake. A rainbow appeared in the sky, a traditional sign of a highly accomplished soul's Mahaparinirvana. The monks called it entering parinirvana, where the soul separated from the body just as a drop merges into the ocean. After Gendun Gyatso's passing, his body was enshrined in a jeweled stupa, Chorten, within Chokorgyal Monastery, which remains a symbol of honor today. His teachings and discourses were compiled, although a specific text named Golden Guide of Compassion isn't widely popular. His teachings and writings are found in various scriptures. He was recognized as the second Dalai Lama, a reincarnation of the first, thus establishing the continuity and sanctity of the Dalai Lama institution. His teachings continue to symbolize compassion, peace, and spiritual awareness in Tibet, Mongolia, India, and across the world. He played a crucial role in strengthening the Gelug tradition and connecting it with Tibet's political and social fabric. The body perishes, but compassion is immortal. The day you can feel the suffering of others, on that day, you will find me within yourself. Gendun Gyatso.